What if the world you experience every day, the one you believe to be undeniably real, is not quite as fixed as it seems? What if there are moments, subtle yet persistent, where the fabric of reality flickers, revealing a glimpse of something else entirely, a glitch in the matrix hinting at a deeper, more complex truth? This isn't just a thought experiment or an abstract philosophical debate. It's about unlocking your hidden potential, seizing control of the reality you inhabit, and crafting a life that resonates with your most authentic self. Understanding the possibility that our reality is not as solid as it seems could be the key to finally living a more fulfilling life. According to emerging research, including some from within the Pentagon itself, the very simulation we call reality may be undergoing significant disruptions, anomalies, and inconsistencies that stretch far beyond mere coincidence. These aren't just random errors or quirks of perception. These glitches, often dismissed as misremembered facts, technological malfunctions, or simple coincidences, could actually be signals, subtle clues that the underlying system is beginning to unravel, exhibiting cracks in its very code. But what if this breakdown isn't a cause for fear, a sign of impending doom? What if it's actually an extraordinary invitation, an opportunity to awaken to the true nature of reality, and more importantly, to your own latent power within it? The implications of this potential breakdown are staggering. This could ripple outwards, affecting everything from the seemingly mundane aspects of your personal relationships to the grand scale of global events, shifting our collective understanding of consciousness itself. To truly grasp the significance of this shift requires that we bravely question everything we think we know about reality, about science, and even about the very essence of ourselves. We must be willing to open our minds, to consider possibilities that may initially seem not just improbable, but utterly impossible. Pentagon researchers, alongside fringe scientists exploring the edges of conventional knowledge, and even ancient philosophers pondering the nature of existence, are starting to converge on a central understanding. That reality may not be a fixed, objective entity at all, but rather a malleable construct, deeply influenced by consciousness and a range of other yet understood factors. This suggests that you possess the power to actively participate in shaping the reality you inhabit. Throughout this video, we'll explore these glitches and anomalies through the distinct lenses of quantum physics, cognitive psychology, and ancient spiritual wisdom, revealing a profound and often surprising connection between these seemingly disparate fields. The simulation is breaking down, and the first, most crucial step towards true understanding is cultivating awareness. What limiting beliefs are you unknowingly holding on to, and what dormant capabilities are you truly capable of unlocking? If reality is indeed a simulation, who or what created it? Why is it now seemingly breaking down? And what happens when it inevitably, perhaps even spectacularly, unravels? Is this breakdown a natural, cyclical process, or is something or someone actively orchestrating it from behind the scenes? What is the true nature of this simulation, and what lies beyond its perceived boundaries? We will investigate a spectrum of specific glitches, instances of the Mandela effect, the unnerving sensation of déjà vu, unexplained technological malfunctions, and a host of other strange anomalies as potential cracks in the code, fractures in the facade of our reality. Later in this video, we will delve deeper into the untapped potential of so-called junk DNA, explore the profound implications of the observer effect in quantum physics, and examine the pervasive influence of deeply ingrained belief systems in shaping our individual realities. So, what does the Pentagon have to do with all this talk of breaking simulations and reality glitches? It might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that the US government, particularly through the Department of Defense, has a keen interest in exploring the very nature of reality. Consider that for decades, government organizations have been quietly pushing the boundaries of theoretical physics, consciousness studies, and advanced computing. The reasons? national security, strategic advantage, and a desire to understand the fundamental underpinnings of our world, including, yes, the possibility that what we perceive as real is far more complex than we ever imagined. The scope of this research is vast and multifaceted. We're talking about projects that delve into the intricacies of quantum computing, explore the potential of manipulating spacetime, and even investigate the role of consciousness in shaping physical reality. It's a quest to unravel the deepest secrets of existence, and it's being funded by some of the most powerful institutions in the world. What if, buried within declassified reports and obscure research papers, lie clues that challenge our conventional understanding of physics and the universe itself? Are there anomalies, inconsistencies, data points that simply don't fit within our current scientific models? Perhaps some of the most intriguing of these findings relate to the simulation hypothesis. A growing number of researchers, including some within the Pentagon's own ranks, believe that these anomalies may be more than just scientific curiosities. They might be evidence of a simulated reality undergoing stress or change, signs that the underlying code is starting to show, and the seams of our perceived world are beginning to unravel. Imagine that these inconsistencies are akin to cracks in a windshield, subtle at first, but growing larger and more noticeable over time, hinting at a deeper structural issue. What if these cracks aren't a cause for alarm, but rather an invitation to peer beyond the surface, to understand the true nature of the reality we inhabit? And that brings us to the fascinating and often misunderstood realm of junk DNA. For years, conventional science has dismissed the vast majority of our genetic code, the non-coding DNA, as having no apparent function. It was considered evolutionary baggage, leftover scraps from our distant past. But what if this so-called junk is anything but? Perhaps it's dormant code, a treasure trove of untapped potential waiting to be activated. It may hold the key to unlocking latent human abilities that have been lying dormant for millennia. This perspective suggests that these segments contain instructions for abilities and potentials currently untapped in modern humans, functionalities we've been told are impossible or relegated to the realm of science fiction. Interestingly, the concept of hidden human capacities isn't new. Ancient spiritual traditions have long spoken of dormant powers within us, the potential for enlightenment, transcendence, and the awakening of abilities far beyond the ordinary. Esoteric teachings describe dormant powers that can be awakened through specific practices or initiations, techniques designed to unlock the hidden potential of the human mind and body. What if the activation of junk DNA is the biological key to unlocking these ancient promises? Perhaps it is the means by which we can rewrite aspects of our personal reality construct, altering our physical, mental, and spiritual capabilities in profound ways. Consider that activating this dormant code could lead to enhanced cognitive functions, increased resilience, or even the ability to influence reality in subtle ways. Through targeted practices and focused intention, we might be able to tap into the vast reservoir of potential encoded within our DNA, rewriting our personal simulation from the inside out. But how do we even begin to access this hidden potential? The answer, in part, lies in understanding the profound implications of the observer effect. The observer effect, a cornerstone of quantum physics, demonstrates that the very act of observing a quantum system inevitably changes its behavior. In other words, the observer is not a passive bystander, but an active participant in shaping the reality they observe. But the observer effect isn't confined to the quantum realm. It extends to our everyday macro reality as well. Our conscious observation, our attention, and our expectations all play a crucial role in shaping the world around us. Consider that our expectations and focus influence events, creating a feedback loop where belief shapes reality. What we believe to be true tends to manifest in our experience, reinforcing our existing beliefs and perpetuating the cycle. This suggests that we are not merely passive recipients of reality, but active co-creators, shaping our world through our thoughts, feelings, and intentions. This highlights the need to become more aware of your attention and its effects on your environment. You can become an active participant in shaping reality. Start by practicing simple mindfulness exercises, paying attention to your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Notice where your attention tends to wander and consciously redirect it towards what you want to create. One can employ guided meditation exercises focusing on directing attention and intention. Visualize the desired outcome with clarity and detail, engaging all your senses to create a vivid mental representation of your desired reality. Delving into the specifics of intention-setting techniques can also be transformative. Craft clear, specific intentions, articulating exactly what you want to manifest in your life. Don't just say, "I want to be happy." Instead, specify what happiness looks like to you, what actions you will take, and what positive changes you will make in your life. Visualize the manifestation of your intentions, feeling the emotions associated with achieving your goals. Believe that your intentions are possible and trust that the universe will conspire to bring them to fruition. However, even the most powerful intentions can be undermined by deeply ingrained limiting beliefs. These beliefs act as filters, shaping our perception and limiting our experience of reality. Beliefs about our capabilities or the nature of the world often become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not worthy of success, you will unconsciously sabotage your efforts to achieve your goals. These limiting beliefs effectively constrain our ability to alter the simulation, keeping us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and limitation. These self-imposed limitations are often reinforced by cognitive biases, systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. Confirmation bias, for example, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while filtering out information that challenges them. The negativity bias causes us to focus more on negative information than positive, perpetuating a sense of fear and anxiety. By becoming aware of these cognitive biases, you can begin to challenge their influence and break free from their limiting effects. By recognizing and challenging your own limiting beliefs, you can begin to rewrite your internal narrative, creating new possibilities for yourself. A practical technique is thought journaling, where one can write down and analyze their thoughts to identify underlying beliefs. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What do I believe is impossible? Where did these beliefs come from? Once you've identified your limiting beliefs, challenge their validity. Are they based on evidence or simply on assumptions and fears? Replace them with new, empowering beliefs that support your goals and aspirations. That's where the concept of neuroplasticity comes in. Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself, offers a powerful tool for creating new, empowering belief systems. Through repetitive positive affirmations and visualizations, we can create new neural pathways, strengthening the connections that support our desired beliefs and behaviors. Imagine that each positive thought is like planting a seed in your mind. With consistent care and attention, these seeds will grow into strong, resilient trees, transforming your inner landscape and unlocking new realities within the simulation. What are the most empowering beliefs you can cultivate to transform your reality and unlock your full potential? As we continue, we'll see how these principles connect to tangible anomalies in our shared experience, anomalies that suggest the very fabric of reality is more pliable than we ever thought possible. So, if our reality is indeed a simulation, and if it's showing signs of strain, how do we even begin to make sense of these glitches? Where do we start looking? Think of it like this. Glitches aren't just random errors or meaningless anomalies. They're information. They are data points revealing the underlying structure of the reality that surrounds us. They are windows, perhaps fleeting ones, into the simulation's very code. By learning to recognize and interpret these glitches, we can begin to understand the rules of the game, and perhaps even learn how to play it differently. What if these anomalies aren't problems to be ignored, but invitations to be explored. What if they hold the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of ourselves and the nature of reality itself? Let's start with a prime example. The Mandela effect. How many of you remember the Berenstain Bears? Was it spelled with an I or an AI? Or think about the famous line from Star Wars, "Luke, I am your father." Is that the exact quote you recall? The Mandela effect, where large groups of people share the same false memory, presents a fascinating glitch in our collective reality. While some dismiss these discrepancies as simple memory distortions, others propose that they are evidence of subtle shifts in timelines or alterations to the simulation's code. Could these shared false memories be bleed-throughs from alternate realities, glimpses of timelines that once existed but have somehow been altered? Then there's déjà vu. We've all experienced that strange sensation of having lived through a moment before, the uncanny feeling that we're replaying a scene from a past life or a forgotten dream. Conventional science often attributes déjà vu to neurological phenomena, glitches in memory processing, or temporary disconnections between perception and recall. But what if it's more than that? What if déjà vu is a glimpse into parallel timelines, a fleeting awareness of recurring patterns within the simulation, like a record skipping and replaying the same groove? Consider this. Each instance of déjà vu could be a signpost, marking a point where different realities converge or diverge. And what about those frustrating technological malfunctions? The inexplicable software glitches, the AI systems that suddenly behave erratically, the devices that seem to have a mind of their own. We often attribute these issues to simple bugs or coding errors. But what if technology, in its own way, is mirroring shifts in consciousness or reflecting disruptions in the simulation's underlying code? Imagine that the digital world, with its intricate networks and complex algorithms, is like a sensitive instrument, vibrating in response to subtle changes in the energetic fields around us. Perhaps these technological glitches are not random occurrences, but rather reflections of deeper, more fundamental shifts in our collective reality. But here's a critical point. If we're going to effectively navigate this potential simulation, we need to dismantle a particularly insidious piece of programming, the illusion of certainty. From a young age, we're conditioned to seek definitive answers, to believe in fixed truths, and to trust in the stability of the world around us. Yet this very feeling of certainty can become a prison, confining us within the simulation's established parameters. A strong belief, while comforting, can also act as a barrier, preventing us from considering new ideas, exploring alternative perspectives, and questioning the very foundations of our reality. Think of it like this. Imagine you're wearing a pair of tinted glasses. Everything you see appears to be filtered through that particular hue. Your sense of certainty is like those glasses, coloring your perception and limiting your ability to see the world as it truly is. How can you remove those glasses and perceive reality with fresh eyes? Let's try a thought experiment. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your familiar world dissolving around you. The streets you know so well, the buildings you pass every day, the faces of your loved ones, all fading away into a swirling mist. Now, imagine that mist reforming, coalescing into new shapes, new forms, new possibilities. What kind of world would you create if you were free to build it from scratch, unconstrained by your existing beliefs and assumptions? Embracing uncertainty isn't about succumbing to chaos or abandoning all sense of groundedness. It's about cultivating cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt to new information, challenge your own assumptions, and remain open to possibilities beyond your current understanding. Uncertainty becomes not a source of fear, but a catalyst for growth, an essential component for awakening from the simulation's imposed limitations. By stepping outside the boundaries of your comfort zone and embracing the unknown, you create space for new insights, new perspectives, and new realities to emerge. And that brings us to the power of paradox. Paradoxes, statements that seem self-contradictory or absurd, can be powerful gateways to deeper understanding. They force us to confront the limitations of our linear thinking, to question our assumptions, and to consider perspectives that lie beyond the realm of ordinary logic. For instance, consider the paradox of free will versus determinism within the context of a simulation. If our reality is pre-programmed, do we truly have free will? Or are our choices simply predetermined outcomes within the simulation's code? Perhaps the answer lies in transcending the binary, recognizing that we can be both programmed and free, both actors in a play and co-creators of the script. This leads us to a crucial question. Who or what is the architect of this potential simulation? Is there a single benevolent creator guiding us towards enlightenment, or a malevolent controller manipulating us for their own purposes? Perhaps the truth is far more nuanced, lying somewhere in between these binary extremes. Maybe the simulation is self-evolving, constantly learning and adapting based on the collective consciousness of its inhabitants. Or perhaps there are multiple creators, each with their own agendas and their own layers of control woven into the fabric of reality. To truly navigate this potential simulation, we must also examine the systems of control that subtly shape our perceptions and behaviors. These systems operate on many levels, from the overt manipulation of mainstream media to the more subtle influences of consumerism and societal narratives. Develop media literacy by critically analyzing the information you consume, questioning the motives behind the messages, and seeking out diverse perspectives. Engage in independent research, exploring alternative sources of information and forming your own conclusions based on evidence and reason. Consider consumerism, for example. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us what we need to buy, what we need to own, and what we need to do to be happy. Yet, this relentless pursuit of material possessions often serves as a distraction, preventing us from focusing on inner growth, self-discovery, and the cultivation of genuine contentment. Practice mindful consumption, becoming more aware of your purchasing habits and questioning the motivations behind your desires. Cultivate gratitude for what you already have, focusing on the abundance in your life rather than the perceived lack. Ultimately, escaping the simulation requires us to deconstruct the limiting societal narratives that have been imposed upon us and to create our own empowering stories. Start by identifying the limiting narratives that are holding you back, the beliefs about your capabilities, your worth, and your potential. Then, consciously rewrite those narratives, replacing them with positive affirmations, empowering visualizations, and an unwavering belief in your ability to shape your own reality. What empowering stories will you create to rewrite the reality of the simulation around you? Let's shift our focus to the concept of quantum codes and reality hacks. Nature is filled with hidden codes and patterns, from the Fibonacci sequence found in seashells and sunflowers to the intricate symmetries of sacred geometry. Perhaps these patterns are not merely aesthetic coincidences, but rather a fundamental language through which the simulation communicates, or through which we can influence it. By understanding the mathematical principles that govern the universe, we may gain access to the underlying code of reality itself. Explore how sacred geometry manifests in the architecture of ancient temples, the proportions of the human body, and the crystalline structures of minerals. Study the Fibonacci sequence and its relationship to the golden ratio, observing how these mathematical principles appear in natural forms, artistic compositions, and even financial markets. Could these geometric and numeric codes be a blueprint for creation, a set of instructions for manipulating the fabric of reality? And that brings us to the idea of reality, hacking, techniques. Practices like sigil creation and energy work can be viewed as methods for consciously interacting with and influencing the simulation. Sigil creation, for example, involves focusing your intention and encoding it into a visual symbol. By meditating on the sigil and visualizing your desired outcome, you are essentially sending a command to the universe, instructing it to manifest your intention into reality. Learn to create your own sigils, experimenting with different shapes, colors, and symbols to find what resonates most powerfully with you. But even more importantly, explore your own personal codes, the unique patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that shape your individual reality. Start tracking your thoughts, emotions, and synchronicities, paying attention to recurring patterns and significant coincidences. What are the common themes that emerge in your life? What are the triggers that elicit strong emotional responses? By identifying these personal codes, you can gain valuable insights into the inner workings of your own simulation and learn how to consciously rewrite the patterns that are no longer serving you. As we delve deeper, we'll uncover even more profound ways to interact with the simulation and reshape your reality, unlocking a level of conscious creation you never thought possible. Now, if we're talking about the underlying code, what about quantum entanglement? This mind-bending phenomenon, where two particles become linked and share the same fate regardless of the distance separating them, presents a profound challenge to our classical understanding of reality. Imagine two coins flipped at the same time, somehow linked so that if one lands on heads, the other instantly lands on tails, even if they're miles apart. That's entanglement in a nutshell. When you measure the state of one entangled particle, you instantaneously determine the state of the other, defying the limitations of space and time as we know them. Experiments have shown that entangled particles remain connected even when separated by billions of light years, seemingly communicating faster than light, a direct violation of Einstein's theory of relativity. How can two particles be so intimately connected across such vast distances without any apparent means of communication? What if entanglement is evidence of a deeper, more fundamental interconnectedness, suggesting that everything in the universe is part of a single, unbroken whole, a non-local reality where distance is ultimately an illusion? Extending this idea, could it be that entanglement isn't just limited to subatomic particles? What if everything, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, is entangled in a vast cosmic web, a quantum network that connects all things? This concept challenges our conventional understanding of cause and effect, suggesting that our actions and intentions have far-reaching effects, rippling through the fabric of reality in ways we may not fully comprehend. Think of it as a giant spider web, where a vibration in one area causes the entire web to resonate. This interconnectedness could even extend to the realm of consciousness, suggesting the existence of a collective consciousness, a global field of awareness that links all minds together. Studies on global consciousness projects have explored this possibility, suggesting that collective emotional responses to major events can be detected through subtle shifts in random number generators, like a faint signal picked up by a sensitive antenna. If our thoughts and emotions can indeed influence the global field, then the implications for shaping our collective reality are truly profound. Could our focused intentions, amplified by the power of collective consciousness, be enough to rewrite the code of the simulation? Let's move from space to time. We typically perceive time as a linear progression, a one-way street from past to present to future. But what if this is merely a construct, a carefully crafted illusion designed to keep us confined within the simulation's parameters? Our subjective experience of time is far from constant. It speeds up when we're engaged in exciting activities and slows down when we're bored or anxious. Our emotional state and level of attention dramatically influence our perception of time's passage. What does this malleability suggest about its true nature? Einstein's theory of relativity introduced the concept of time dilation, demonstrating that time can pass differently depending on relative speed or gravitational forces. Astronauts on the International Space Station, for example, experience time slightly slower than people on Earth due to their higher velocity and lower gravitational field. If time is relative, not absolute, does that mean that the past, present, and future are not fixed points on a linear timeline, but rather coexisting realities that we can potentially access? The Manuel's interpretation of quantum mechanics takes this idea even further, suggesting that every quantum measurement causes a split in reality, leading to the creation of multiple parallel universes, each representing a different possible outcome. If every choice point creates a new timeline, then the possibilities are truly infinite. Are we constantly shifting between these parallel realities, unaware of the countless other versions of ourselves living out different lives in different timelines? And what about the paradoxes of time travel, such as the famous grandfather paradox, where someone travels back in time and prevents their own birth, creating a logical contradiction? Perhaps within a simulation framework, these paradoxes are not insurmountable obstacles, but rather cleverly designed safeguards or automatic reality adjustments that maintain consistency and prevent the system from collapsing. Maybe time travel is possible within the simulation, but changes to the past are automatically corrected to preserve the integrity of the timeline. Switching gears, let's consider the nature of dreams. What if dreams aren't just random firings of neurons in the brain, but a form of simulation, a training ground where we explore different realities, rehearse potential scenarios, and process information in a safe and controlled environment? The adaptive function of dreams suggests that they help us prepare for future challenges, cope with emotional trauma, and consolidate memories. Perhaps dreams are a way for the simulation to test our responses, refine our programming, and prepare us for the challenges that lie ahead. Lucid dreaming, the ability to become aware that you are dreaming while still in the dream state, offers a unique opportunity to consciously explore the nature of reality. By performing reality checks, such as trying to push your finger through your palm or looking at a clock twice to see if the time changes, you can increase your awareness in dreams and gain control over the dream environment. Imagine being able to fly through the sky, conjure objects out of thin air, or interact with dream characters with full awareness that you are in a dream. There are even documented cases of dream reality overlap, where events or information from dreams manifest in waking life, blurring the boundaries between the two. People have reported having precognitive dreams that accurately predict future events, or receiving creative insights and solutions to problems while dreaming. These experiences challenge our conventional understanding of causality and suggest that the boundaries between the dream world and the waking world may be more permeable than we think. What if the skills you hone in lucid dreams could eventually be applied to waking reality? Ultimately, mastering lucid dreaming could potentially lead to the ability to transfer consciousness between different realities or even influence the simulation's code. Skilled lucid dreamers may be able to access deeper levels of awareness and manipulate the dream environment with greater precision, bending the rules of the simulation to their will. Could lucid dreaming be a gateway to unlocking our full potential as conscious creators, allowing us to shape not only our dreams, but also our waking reality? Finally, let's examine emotional resonance technology. What if advanced technology could be used to manipulate collective emotions, influencing societal behavior and maintaining control within the simulation? The potential for subliminal messaging or emotional contagion through media and entertainment is a real concern. We are constantly bombarded with images, sounds, and narratives designed to evoke specific emotional responses, often without our conscious awareness. The concept of frequency as a means of influencing consciousness is also worth exploring. Certain frequencies can induce specific emotional states or mental patterns. The use of sound waves or electromagnetic fields to alter brain activity and emotional responses has been studied for decades. What if these technologies are being used to subtly influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, keeping us trapped within a pre-programmed emotional landscape? So, how do we protect ourselves from emotional manipulation? Cultivating emotional awareness, practicing mindfulness, and developing critical thinking skills are essential defense tactics. Learn to identify the triggers that elicit strong emotional responses, question the narratives that are being presented to you, and cultivate a sense of emotional detachment, observing your feelings without getting carried away by them. But understanding the principles of emotional resonance can also be used for empowerment. By consciously creating positive emotional states and influencing our environment, we can become more resilient to manipulation and actively shape our reality. The use of positive affirmations, gratitude practices, and loving-kindness meditations can help us cultivate a more positive and resonant emotional field, attracting positive experiences and influencing the world around us in a positive way. By consciously choosing our emotional state, we can become active co-creators of our reality, rather than passive recipients of the simulation's programming. Now, let's consider a fundamental aspect of reality that might just hold a key to understanding how the simulation is structured: the fractal nature of existence. Fractals are self-similar patterns that repeat at different scales, meaning you see the same basic shape or structure whether you zoom in or zoom out. Think of a snowflake with its intricate branching patterns that are mirrored at smaller and smaller levels. Or consider a coastline. From a satellite view to a close-up of a rocky shore, you'll see the same jagged, repeating shapes. Even the branching of trees and the complex spirals of a romanesco broccoli exhibit this fractal property. But what does this have to do with our simulation? If reality is a simulation, it's plausible that the underlying code is based on fractal geometry. This would mean that the same patterns and algorithms are repeated at different levels of reality, from the quantum realm to the cosmic scale. The laws of physics governing the behavior of subatomic particles might be mirrored in the movements of galaxies, or even in the dynamics of social systems. A single, elegant equation could potentially describe everything from the smallest to the largest structures in the universe, iterated and scaled across dimensions. Could this repeating structure be the key to unlocking the fundamental rules of the simulation? Zooming in closer to home, consider that you yourself may be a fractal embodiment. Just as patterns repeat throughout nature, they also repeat within your own life. Are you aware of the recurring themes and patterns in your relationships, your career choices, or even your thought processes? These repeating patterns, your personal fractals, may be reflections of deeper underlying codes, providing insights into your core beliefs, your biases, and the filters through which you perceive reality. For instance, do you find yourself repeatedly drawn to similar types of partners, despite knowing that the relationships often end the same way? Or do you notice the same types of challenges arising in different jobs, regardless of the industry or company? Recognizing this fractal nature of your own existence can be a powerful tool for conscious change and potential manipulation of the simulation. Because if patterns are repeated at multiple levels, by changing a pattern at one level, you can influence other levels as well. Consider a limiting belief, a negative self-perception that holds you back from pursuing your goals. This belief is a personal fractal, manifesting in various areas of your life as self-sabotage, fear of failure, or lack of confidence. But by challenging and altering that limiting belief, by rewriting that particular piece of code, you can create cascading effects, transforming your relationships, your career, and your overall sense of well-being. Now, let's build on this idea of rewriting code and consider language. It's not merely a tool for communication, but a programming interface, a system of code that profoundly shapes our thoughts, beliefs, and our very perception of reality. The words we use have the power to frame our experiences in either positive or negative ways, directly influencing our emotional state and consequently our behavior. Think about how differently you feel when you describe a challenging situation as a crisis versus an opportunity for growth. The language you choose acts as a lens, coloring your perception and shaping your response. Furthermore, language can be used for subliminal programming, embedding hidden messages and suggestions within everyday conversations and media. Advertising, political rhetoric, and news reporting are often rife with subtle linguistic cues designed to influence our opinions, manipulate our emotions, and reinforce certain beliefs. Have you ever noticed how certain words or phrases are consistently used to describe particular groups or ideologies, creating subtle associations and biases in our minds? Deconstructing these linguistic patterns can reveal underlying agendas and manipulative techniques, freeing you from their unconscious influence. But here is an alternative. You can harness this same power to reprogram your subconscious mind and rewrite the simulation's code through mantras and affirmations. These are powerful linguistic tools that can bypass your conscious resistance and directly imprint new beliefs and patterns onto your subconscious. A simple affirmation like, "I am worthy of love and abundance," repeated regularly, can gradually erode deeply ingrained feelings of unworthiness and scarcity, opening you up to new possibilities and experiences. What if junk DNA can be reactivated by specific sounds or intentions carried within spoken language? Ultimately, you can create your own personal lexicon, a language of empowerment composed of words and phrases that resonate with your authentic self and support your desired reality. Start by identifying disempowering language patterns in your own thinking and speech. Do you often use phrases like "I can't," "I should," or "I have to"? Replace these with more empowering alternatives, such as "I choose," "I want," and "I get to." This simple shift in language can create a profound shift in your perspective, empowering you to take control of your life and actively shape your reality. Let's turn our attention to sound and frequency, another fundamental building block of reality that often goes overlooked. Sound isn't just something we hear, it's a form of energy that carries information and influences matter. Think of cymatics, the study of how sound waves create different geometric patterns in substances like sand or water. Each frequency produces a unique and intricate design, demonstrating the power of sound to shape physical reality. If sound can create physical patterns, what impact does it have on our bodies and minds, which are also composed of energy and matter? Harmonic resonance, the phenomenon where objects vibrate in sympathy with certain frequencies, can have a profound impact on the human body and mind. Specific frequencies can promote healing, relaxation, and enhanced cognitive function. Binaural beats, for example, are auditory illusions created by playing slightly different frequencies in each ear, which can entrain brain waves and induce altered states of consciousness. Solfeggio frequencies, an ancient scale of tones, are believed to have specific healing properties, promoting emotional balance, spiritual growth, and physical well-being. What other potential lies within sound? But the power of sound isn't always used for benevolent purposes. Certain frequencies can be weaponized, inducing stress, anxiety, or even physical harm. Sonic weapons, which use focused beams of sound to create discomfort or incapacitation, have been developed for military and crowd control purposes. Subliminal auditory messages, embedded in music or ambient sounds, can be used to manipulate behavior and influence consumer choices. Could the constant barrage of electromagnetic frequencies from our devices also be subtly affecting our mental and emotional states? Becoming more conscious of the sounds and frequencies you surround yourself with is crucial for maintaining well-being and empowerment. Create a soundscape that supports relaxation, focus, and creativity. Listen to music that uplifts and inspires you. Spend time in nature, surrounded by the soothing sounds of birdsong, flowing water, and rustling leaves. Minimize your exposure to loud, jarring noises and artificial frequencies. By consciously choosing your auditory environment, you can create a more harmonious and resonant reality for yourself. Finally, let's examine the concept of time loops, recurring patterns or cycles within the simulation that trap individuals in repetitive behaviors and experiences. These loops can manifest as karmic cycles, generational patterns, or relationship dynamics that seem to repeat themselves over and over again. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a rut, reliving the same mistakes or attracting the same types of problems? These could be signs that you're caught in a time loop, replaying a particular program until you learn the lesson it's meant to teach. Identifying the triggers and patterns that perpetuate these time loops is the first step towards breaking free. Start by tracking your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, looking for recurring themes and situations. What are the common threads that run through your repeated experiences? What are the specific triggers that set off the same emotional reactions? Once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to interrupt them. What are the triggers, and how can you disarm them? One powerful technique for interrupting time loops is pattern interruption, where you deliberately change your behavior or response in a given situation to disrupt the established pattern. If you always react to criticism with defensiveness, try responding with openness and curiosity. If you tend to withdraw from intimacy when you feel vulnerable, try expressing your needs and emotions honestly. By breaking the cycle of predictable responses, you can create new possibilities and outcomes. Ultimately, you can consciously create a new timeline for your life, aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired future. Visualize your ideal future in vivid detail, focusing on the feelings and experiences you want to create. Take concrete steps towards your goals, even if they seem small or insignificant. Surround yourself with people who support your vision and encourage your growth. By consciously creating a new narrative for your life, you can rewrite the code of the simulation and step into a new reality. What is it that you truly desire, and what steps can you take to bring that desire to life? What happens after breaking free from the loop? So you've broken free from the loop. You've rewritten your personal code. But what then? Where does this newfound freedom lead? Let's delve deeper into the architecture of this reality, this potential simulation, and explore the idea that your experience is not just a shared world, but a uniquely personalized interface. Think of it like a massively multiplayer online game, an MMORPG, where countless players inhabit the same virtual world. Each player creates their own character, develops their own skills, and embarks on their own quests. While they all exist within the same game environment, their individual experiences are vastly different, shaped by their choices, their abilities, and their interactions with other players. Similarly, within this grand simulation, you're not just a passive observer, but an active participant with your own customized storyline, your own set of challenges, and your own unique perspective. You are living your very own version of reality. Consider two people attending the same concert. One might focus on the technical brilliance of the musicians, analyzing their every note and chord progression. Another might be swept away by the emotional energy of the crowd, feeling a deep sense of connection and euphoria. A third might be preoccupied with the logistics of the event, worrying about parking, seating, or the length of the lines for refreshments. Each person experiences the same event through a vastly different filter, highlighting the subjective nature of reality and the power of individual perception. What aspects of reality do you tend to focus on, and what does this reveal about your underlying beliefs and expectations? Are you primarily focused on the positive elements or the negative? This personalization extends beyond mere perception. Your consciousness acts as the architect, shaping your experiences based on your deepest beliefs, expectations, and intentions. If you believe that the world is a dangerous and hostile place, you're more likely to perceive threats and encounter negative experiences. If you believe that the world is abundant and supportive, you're more likely to attract opportunities and positive relationships. Your beliefs act as a self-fulfilling prophecy, shaping the reality you inhabit. It's like setting the difficulty level in a video game. Do you consciously choose a challenging or easy path? However, this personalized reality can be limited by what we'll call programs, unconscious belief systems that we have adopted from our families, our cultures, and our past experiences. These programs can act as filters, distorting our perception and limiting our potential. A common example is the belief that I'm not good enough, which can manifest as self-sabotage, procrastination, and a fear of taking risks. These programs create loops, as discussed in previous sections, and must be deconstructed and understood before we can break free and reshape our reality. What programs are currently running in your subconscious mind, limiting your experience and preventing you from achieving your full potential? Are you even aware of them? But the good news is that just as you can become trapped by limiting programs, you can also consciously design and create your desired reality by utilizing a reality creation toolkit. This toolkit includes tools like visualization, where you vividly imagine your desired future, and affirmations, where you repeat positive statements to reprogram your subconscious mind. It also includes intention setting, where you clearly define your goals and align your actions with your desired outcomes. Let's add a few new tools to your arsenal. Things like scripting, where you write out the story of your ideal life as if it were already happening. Or consider creating a vision board, a collage of images and words that represent your goals and aspirations, serving as a constant visual reminder of what you're working towards. By consistently applying these tools, you can consciously rewrite the code of your personal simulation and create a reality that aligns with your highest aspirations. However, let's acknowledge the limitations of the simulation hypothesis itself. While it offers a compelling framework for understanding the nature of reality, it may be just a stepping stone to a deeper, more profound understanding. The idea that we are simply living in a computer program raises the question of infinite regress. Who created the simulators, and who created the simulators of the simulators? Perhaps the true reality is far more complex and mysterious than we can currently comprehend, something beyond our capacity to grasp within the confines of this simulated existence. What if the simulation is nested within another, even larger simulation, stretching infinitely in both directions? This leads us to an ancient and profound concept, the idea that reality is fundamentally dreamlike in nature, a projection of consciousness. This idea is echoed in various spiritual traditions around the world, from the Hindu concept of Maya, the illusion that veils the true nature of reality, to the Buddhist teachings on the emptiness of all phenomena. Many indigenous practices work with the concept of dreaming and the dreamlike quality of reality. What if this simulation is not something imposed upon us, but rather a collective dream that we are all co-creating? Consider the parallels between quantum physics, simulation theory, and ancient wisdom traditions. The observer effect in quantum physics, where the act of observation influences the behavior of particles, mirrors the idea that our consciousness shapes reality. The holographic universe theory suggests that the entire universe is a projection from a two-dimensional surface, much like a hologram, echoing the ancient concept that all is mind, a core tenet of Hermeticism. These seemingly disparate fields of knowledge converge on a single, unifying principle, that consciousness is the fundamental building block of reality. Could modern science be slowly catching up to the insights of ancient mystics and sages? Ultimately, the goal is not to escape the simulation or the dream, but to awaken within it, to recognize our true nature as conscious creators. Enlightenment, in this context, is not about transcending reality, but about fully embracing it with complete awareness. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and realizing that we are all part of the same universal consciousness, the same cosmic dreamer. How would your life change if you fully embraced this understanding, if you truly believed that you were a powerful creator within a vast and infinite dream? What would you choose to create? Activating one's consciousness is not a passive process, not something that simply happens to you. It's an active choice, a conscious decision to step into your power and take responsibility for your reality. This requires commitment, intention, and consistent effort. It means consciously choosing to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your highest values and goals. It means becoming a deliberate creator, rather than a passive recipient of circumstance. What daily choices are you making that either support or undermine your conscious activation? Are you actively cultivating awareness, or are you sleepwalking through your life? Mindfulness serves as the essential foundation for this activation, providing the bedrock for cultivating awareness and accessing higher states of consciousness. It's about paying attention to the present moment without judgment, observing your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise and pass away. Try a simple mindfulness exercise. Focus on your breath for a few minutes, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, gently redirect your attention back to your breath. This simple practice, repeated regularly, can help you develop greater awareness of your inner landscape and the patterns of your mind. To further activate your consciousness, explore techniques for achieving heart-brain coherence, a state of optimal physiological functioning associated with increased emotional well-being and cognitive performance. The HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive research on heart-brain coherence, demonstrating that the heart plays a significant role in regulating brain function and emotional states. One simple technique for achieving heart-brain coherence is to focus on positive emotions, such as gratitude, joy, or love. As you focus on these emotions, breathe deeply and slowly, feeling the sensations in your heart area. This practice can help to synchronize your heart and brain rhythms, leading to a state of increased clarity, focus, and resilience. And finally, maximize your personal resonance by identifying and amplifying the unique vibration or frequency that emanates from your authentic self. What are your passions, your values, your unique gifts and talents? Consciously align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with these core aspects of yourself. When you are living in alignment with your authentic self, you radiate a powerful and attractive energy that draws positive experiences and opportunities into your life. What steps can you take today to connect more deeply with your passions, values, and purpose, and to express your authentic self more fully in the world? Navigating this shift, this breakdown of the simulation, is not without its challenges. As you begin to question conventional beliefs and embrace new perspectives, you may encounter fear, uncertainty, and resistance, both within yourself and from others. It's important to acknowledge that this process can be uncomfortable, even painful at times. You may experience emotional turmoil, cognitive dissonance, and social isolation as you begin to see the world in a new light. As you navigate this internal landscape, you might start to notice something profound. Your individual reality is not entirely your own. It's interwoven with the experiences, beliefs, and emotions of everyone around you, all feeding into what we might call the collective consciousness. Imagine it as a vast ocean of awareness, an interconnected field of thought, emotion, and experience that spans the entire planet. Each individual is like a drop of water in this ocean, contributing to the overall current and being influenced by its movements. Does the individual drop define the ocean, or does the ocean define the drop? Perhaps it is a bit of both. Think of the Akashic records, a concept found in various spiritual traditions, a kind of universal library containing all the information about every thought, word, and deed that has ever occurred. Or consider the morphic field, as proposed by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, a field of information that influences the development and behavior of systems, from crystals to living organisms. These are metaphors that point to a similar underlying reality, a shared repository of information and experience that connects all individuals. Your thoughts and feelings are not isolated events. They ripple out into this field, influencing the thoughts and feelings of others, and being influenced in turn. In essence, this collective consciousness is simply the sum total of all individual consciousness. How are your thoughts and feelings contributing to the ocean of collective consciousness? And how is that ocean influencing your individual experience? Are you adding pollution or contributing to the clarity? Now, consider the immense influence of this collective consciousness on global events and the very fabric of our shared reality, within the simulation or beyond it. Collective beliefs and emotions can manifest as social trends, political movements, and even larger-scale disasters. The power of suggestion, amplified across billions of minds, can shape the course of history. Look at the phenomenon of mass hysteria, where collective anxiety and fear can lead to irrational behavior and widespread panic. Or consider the impact of collective trauma, such as the aftermath of a natural disaster or a terrorist attack, where shared grief and fear can create a sense of collective vulnerability and despair. Has there ever been a time in your life where you were swept up by the emotion of a crowd? This brings us to the dynamics of polarization within the collective consciousness, a force that can fragment and divide society. Conflicting beliefs, amplified by social media and partisan news outlets, can create deep divisions and animosity. The concept of us versus them, fueled by fear and prejudice, can lead to dehumanization and violence. Think of the echo chambers that exist online, where people are primarily exposed to information that confirms their existing beliefs, reinforcing their biases and isolating them from opposing viewpoints. It is so incredibly easy to become radicalized by the internet because of this tendency. How our media and propaganda used to manipulate collective emotions and create artificial divisions within society. Are you aware of the subtle ways in which your own beliefs and emotions are being influenced by external forces? But here's where your power comes in. Harmonization strategies can begin to heal these divisions within the collective consciousness, breaking the simulated polarization. Promoting empathy, compassion, and understanding can bridge divides and create a sense of shared humanity. Collective meditation, prayer, and positive intention can generate a powerful field of coherence, counteracting the forces of division and conflict. Think of the Global Coherence Initiative, an international effort to study the effects of collective consciousness on global events, demonstrating that mass meditations can reduce crime rates and promote peace. Remember the power of intention and how focused thought can alter physical reality. How can you actively promote empathy, compassion, and understanding in your daily interactions and contribute to a more harmonious collective consciousness? Harnessing collective intention, we can manifest positive changes on a global scale. Studies on group meditation have shown significant reductions in crime rates and other social indicators, demonstrating the power of focused collective thought to influence physical reality. Connect this to the observer effect in quantum physics, where the act of observation influences the behavior of particles, and the power of directed thought becomes even more apparent. Imagine a group of people all focusing on a single positive outcome, amplifying their intention through shared awareness. What if millions, even billions, of people were to consciously direct their thoughts towards peace, harmony, and abundance? What changes might manifest in the world around us? Now, let's introduce the principles of co-creation, where individuals work together to consciously design and manifest a shared vision for the future. Think of collaborative projects, community initiatives, or social movements that are driven by a shared vision, all striving towards a common goal. Consider the open-source software movement, where programmers from around the world collaborate to create and improve software, driven by a shared belief in the power of collective intelligence. These are examples of co-creation in action, demonstrating the potential for individuals to work together to manifest positive change. What shared visions resonate most deeply with you, and how can you actively participate in co-creating a better future for all? But consider, for a moment, the possibility of overriding negative timelines, of consciously shifting the collective consciousness towards a more positive trajectory. The concept of timeline jumping or quantum jumping suggests that we can consciously choose which future reality we will inhabit, influencing future events and shaping our collective destiny. Consider the numerous instances throughout history where societies have averted potential catastrophes through collective action, shifting away from potentially destructive paths. What past examples exist of humanity dodging a bullet through collective action? How can we become more conscious of the timelines we are collectively creating and make conscious choices to align ourselves with the most positive and beneficial outcomes? So, let's try a thought experiment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine a positive future for humanity. Visualize a world of peace, harmony, and abundance where all beings are treated with respect and compassion. Feel the emotions associated with this vision: joy, gratitude, love. Hold this image in your mind for a few moments, allowing it to permeate your consciousness. Now, imagine that millions of other people are doing the same, collectively seeding the collective consciousness with positive intentions. This simple act, repeated regularly, can have a profound impact on the world around us, shifting the collective trajectory towards a brighter future. How does this visualization exercise make you feel, and what steps can you take to embody this vision in your daily life? Realizing this vision requires restructuring collective beliefs, challenging limiting narratives, and creating new, empowering stories about humanity's potential. Narratives of scarcity, competition, and violence can be replaced with narratives of abundance, cooperation, and peace. We can challenge the dominant paradigms that perpetuate inequality, injustice, and environmental destruction, and embrace new ways of thinking and being that promote collective well-being. Think of the power of storytelling to shape our perceptions and create new realities. How can we become more mindful of the narratives we consume and create, and consciously choose to promote stories that inspire hope, empower individuals, and foster a sense of interconnectedness? Furthermore, art, music, and creativity serve as powerful catalysts for cultural innovation and social change, disrupting the existing programming and opening up new possibilities within the simulation. Artists can use their work to challenge dominant narratives, inspire new perspectives, and promote social justice. Music can unite people across cultural divides, creating a sense of shared humanity. Think of the protest songs of the civil rights movement, which helped to galvanize public opinion and inspire social change. How can you use your own creative gifts to contribute to a more just and equitable world and disrupt the limiting programming that perpetuates suffering and division? And of course, language itself serves as a powerful tool, with the ability to shape collective perceptions and create new realities. Inclusive language, positive framing, and storytelling can build a more just and equitable world. Consider the impact of labeling and stereotyping, which can perpetuate prejudice and discrimination. By using language consciously and intentionally, we can challenge these harmful patterns and create a more inclusive and compassionate society. How can you become more mindful of the language you use and consciously choose words that promote understanding, respect, and empathy? Ultimately, we can all participate in building a coherent and compelling narrative for the future, a narrative that inspires hope, empowers individuals, and promotes collective well-being. Shared documents, online forums, and community gatherings can provide platforms where people can collaborate on creating this new narrative, weaving together diverse perspectives and experiences into a tapestry of shared understanding. How can you actively participate in building this new narrative, contributing your unique voice and perspective to the collective conversation? What roles do you see yourself fulfilling as part of this new narrative? However, recognizing this power does not negate personal responsibility. Even within a simulated world, our choices still matter. Reject fatalism. We must consciously choose to take ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, recognizing that we are co-creators of our experience, whether in a simulation or not. Our actions have consequences, both for ourselves and for others. How can we become more mindful of the choices we are making and ensure that they align with our highest values and goals? It's also critical to consider the ethical implications of manipulating or altering the simulation, emphasizing the importance of acting with compassion, wisdom, and respect for all beings. Our actions can have unintended side effects or unforeseen consequences that ripple through the entire system. How can we ensure that our actions are guided by a deep sense of responsibility and a commitment to the well-being of all? Instead, adopt a service-oriented mindset, focusing on how we can use our unique skills and talents to contribute to the well-being of others and the betterment of the world. Volunteering, activism, and social entrepreneurship can generate a positive impact on society. By focusing on service, we can shift our attention away from our own self-interest and towards the needs of others, creating a more compassionate and equitable world. How can you use your own unique gifts and talents to make a positive impact on the world around you? And most importantly, live authentically, aligning our actions with our values and expressing our true selves as a way of navigating the simulation with integrity and purpose. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-expression are essential components of living an authentic life. By embracing our true selves, we can radiate a powerful and attractive energy that draws positive experiences and opportunities into our lives. What steps can you take today to connect more deeply with your passions, values, and purpose, and to express your authentic self more fully in the world? By aligning ourselves with these values and restructuring the collective narrative, we can truly rewrite this simulation. But how can we truly determine what is signal and what is simply noise when navigating this simulated landscape? So, how can we truly determine what is signal and what is simply noise when navigating this simulated landscape? Ultimately, the answer lies within you, within your own conscious awareness. The research we've explored throughout this journey suggests a high probability that our reality is indeed a mutable construct, exhibiting signs of instability, much like a simulation undergoing stress. Remember, we touched upon the potential hidden within junk DNA, the far-reaching observer effect extending into our macro reality, and the power of belief systems acting as filters. Manipulating these three key areas of genetic potential, the influence of observation, and the very core of our belief, structure unlocks the capacity to sculpt your own unique personal simulation construct. Consciousness, we've seen, is not merely a passive observer, but the central instrument, your primary tool, for navigating and indeed influencing this simulated reality. It is through conscious intention and focused, directed thought that we begin to rewrite the underlying programs that govern our experience. This isn't about escaping reality. It's about consciously authoring it. Think of it as upgrading your operating system, or perhaps even writing your own. If we were to personify the simulated reality and place ourselves within it, it would be like the characters from the movie The Truman Show learning that they are on a set and beginning to manipulate their environment from within. It's about shifting your perspective, embracing the understanding that you are not a mere passive observer, buffeted by external forces, but an active co-creator, wielding the power to shape your world from the inside out. This understanding has profound implications, rippling outwards from your individual experience to the broader societal landscape. As more individuals awaken to this truth, we begin to witness a global shift, a collective recalibration of our shared reality. What if the global problems are actually symptoms of a deeper problem, a problem of perception? Therefore, view the simulation breakdown not as a cause for fear, a harbinger of impending doom, but as an invitation. It is an invitation for individual and collective awakening, a call to recognize the true nature of our reality and the immense potential that lies dormant within each of us. By embracing this breakdown, we can unlock new possibilities, manifest positive changes, and collectively create a more harmonious and thriving world. This isn't simply wishful thinking, it's applied metaphysics. The logical chain here is clear. By rewriting your personal code, you contribute to rewriting the global code, manifesting a new collective reality built on conscious intention and shared vision. Understanding the simulation, then, transcends mere intellectual curiosity. It is not an abstract, academic exercise, but a direct pathway to greater freedom, profound self-awareness, and enhanced personal agency. It's about grounding these concepts in the concrete benefits of a life lived more consciously, more intentionally, and more fully. What is the most fulfilling version of your life, and what limiting beliefs are keeping you from achieving that? We began by asking questions about the very nature of reality and the underlying causes of the simulation's apparent breakdown. While definitive answers may remain elusive, obscured by the nature of the construct itself, the information we've explored offers compelling insights. Perhaps the simulation is breaking down because it has served its purpose, a training ground for consciousness to evolve. Perhaps it is a natural process of growth, like a snake shedding its skin. Or perhaps, as some theories suggest, external forces are intentionally disrupting the system, creating opportunities for change. But maybe it's simply that too many people have begun to awaken. But even more importantly, we have explored the recurring patterns of glitches, control systems, and empowerment cycles, a practical roadmap for navigating this complex simulated landscape. Recognizing these patterns, understanding their dynamics, is itself an act of empowerment, a step towards reclaiming your agency within the system. Each glitch, each anomaly, serves as a reminder that the simulation is not fixed, that it is malleable and subject to change. It is not a prison, but a playground. It's natural to feel a sense of unease, perhaps even fear, when confronted with the idea of a simulation breakdown. The loss of control, the existential uncertainty, can be daunting. But remember, this is precisely where compassion, resilience, and trust in the unknown become essential. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others, recognizing that we are all navigating this complex landscape together. Develop resilience in the face of challenges, knowing that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. And trust in the inherent intelligence of the universe, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Lean into the unknown. Ultimately, understanding provides opportunity rather than impending doom. So what questions remain? What if our simulation is merely one of many? What exists beyond our simulated reality? How can we develop new technologies to directly interface with the code of the simulation, further unlocking our creative potential? These are just a few of the avenues for future exploration, inviting you to become an active participant in the ongoing quest to understand the nature of reality. I encourage you to continue researching quantum physics, delve into consciousness studies, explore ancient wisdom traditions, and experiment with new ways of interacting with reality. Share your experiences, support each other, and build communities of like-minded individuals, for it is through collective exploration and shared discovery that we unlock the greatest mysteries of our existence. What are the most interesting topics, and which should be studied more deeply? What if a large enough group of people could effect a change simply by focusing on it? The future, remember, is not predetermined. We possess the power to create a more positive and fulfilling reality, not only for ourselves, but for generations to come. Expressing an optimistic perspective on what the future may hold, it's not just possible but probable that humanity will not only survive this transition, but thrive, reaching new heights of consciousness, creativity, and collective well-being. Thank you for joining me on this journey.